Hello, hello. Welcome. So I owe you an apology. I know I said I was gonna do an unboxing when this showed up. As you can see, it's already unboxed because I have no chill, okay? So here's what happened. Okay? It's perfectly understandable. It's explainable. I have explanations. I have excuses. I was cooking dinner. Dinner was on the stove, and my phone dings and it's a notification. Your package has arrived. It's in the mailbox. And I was like, oh my God, so excited. So I ran downstairs to the mailbox and I grabbed my package out of the mailbox and I run back up and I'm like, okay, I have to wait, right? Because I'm supposed to do this unboxing. But what all of this came in was a gray packing envelope sleeve, right? One of the thin ones like you get a lot of Amazon packages in and things like that. And it had a label on it with my address. So I was like, I can't have that. I have to at least open that because we can't have that in the video, right? You can't put things like that on the internet. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna rip that open. And then I just kind of kept going because your girl has no chill. But yay! My July Tamed Wild box is here. Haha. So this is my first of the subscription. I'm super excited about it. I'm hyped. We have weird shadows because the light is weird right now. That's totally fine. It's just distracting. Anyway, I'm super excited about it. So each one of these boxes is, I think it was with tax and shipping, it was like less than 30 bucks. I want to say the box itself is 20 and then shipping and tax on top of that. So it's not super expensive. The July box is what really sold me. I mean, that and I was depressed and wanted to shop for endorphin reasons. This is what we do when we're adults with depression, okay? We use our adult money and we buy endorphins. That's what's happening here. I don't have a problem. I am just buying my endorphins on the internet so that I can feel better about my life, okay? I was sad. I ordered a subscription box. I ordered a 6-month supply of a subscription box. It's fine, okay? I had the money. I have a job. But the July one comes with a deck. Now, there was the option for a number of the Tamed Wild decks to come. I low-key wanted the Wild Runes one because that was the one that I saw first. And so I'm kind of excited that this is the one that showed up. I have a set of runes that a friend of mine made for me because she's beautiful and crafty and wonderful and I love her. And then I don't use them. And I feel bad for not using them, but I don't know runes very well, and I'm so comfortable with cards as a form of divination. I love them. I love shuffling them. Like the act of shuffling itself is very soothing and meditative for me. So I'm hoping that this will like be a gateway drug into runes and I can actually like use her gift, right? Because even if I don't necessarily use the stones she gave me for divination, if I'm more familiar with the meaning of the runes, because I'm reading with a deck that has runes as the cards, maybe I can use the runes she gave me for another purpose, right? Like maybe I can use them more like I would use crystals. I can take one that means a thing, throw it in my pocket for the day, sort of carry the manifestation with me, right? So got a deck. This is the Wild Runes deck. And I'm going to flip through it in a second, but everything that comes, it's got the deck, it's got the book. I got a little baggie that has a crystal in it. It is clear quartz. They have a lovely little tag that's like, this is what clear quartz is all about. As though we didn't already know. I have so much clear quartz already, right? But this is nice. I don't have any clear quartz crystals like this because this one is a single terminated point with a flat bottom. My clear quartz pieces at the minute are either quite rough or they are double terminated points. So I do like that I have this one now, right? It kind of like stands up on its own. Nice little point there, little friendly boy. So little clear quartz point. Did come with this beautiful burning stick. This is cedar and rose petals. It is very aromatic. That was the first thing I noticed when I ripped the package open, was the smell. It is pungent between the cedar, which is very smelly and beautiful and just smells so good. And then this as well. This is some whole herb. This is ginger root, and it is also very, very smelly. You can see the canister is only about like halfway full-ish, which I guess for them is a quote-unquote full canister. That's half full, guys. But it's very, very pungent. I don't use ginger root a lot. The cards and stuff that came with it, whew, that is smelly. Gotta make my nose run. The card that came with it was like, you can use it for tea, or you can use it in magical practice, or whatever you want. I do like that. The options were ginger root or peppermint that could have come in this box. I low-key would have preferred the peppermint because I would have actually used the peppermint more, I think. Ginger is... I like ginger, but only in very small amounts, and I have to cut it with something else. Like I'll use ginger tea because I have anxiety and just generally delicate digestion, so I get nauseous a lot. And ginger is great for soothing nausea, but I can't drink it by itself. It has to be cut with something. So like my favorite is either I can do lemon ginger. I've got a hibiscus ginger that's really nice. That's a loose leaf. It's lovely. But then it also came with this deck bag, which is quite pretty. It's out of this beautiful green and gold material. Got your little pocket there for your deck. Right, very nice. Kind of wrap it up with a ribbon. Et voila, so nice, right? So, first question. Do I think it was worth it? Yeah, I do. I think all of this stuff for even say like $30, I easily could have spent more than that buying each of these things separately from different places. And so definitely worth it for sure. Likes and dislikes. I love this canister. I'm obsessed with boxes and tins and canisters and bottles and just containers in general. I don't know what it is. I think it appeals to my unfulfilled desire to be organized, which I absolutely am not. But I love me a good container. They make me so happy. And this one's very, very pretty. I can see myself continuing to use it potentially after the ginger is gone, assuming I ever get around to using this much ginger in something. I love this. I think that it's going to be really, really lovely. I'm looking forward to seeing how it burns. It's really quite pretty with the way they have the rose petals sort of wrapped in with the cedar. I don't know that it's going to do anything with the smell. I think the cedar is probably going to overwhelm the rose petal entirely, but aesthetically it's quite pleasing and I like aesthetics, right? The crystal, I gotta be honest, I'm not excited about it. Just because it's clear quartz, and clear quartz it's basic and I'm dramatic, right? I do like it. I can always use more rocks, right? But I look forward to other boxes with more exciting stones that maybe I don't already have a small handful of. That's all I'm gonna say. The informational cards here, I think they're great. I like that they're included. The green one has a breakdown of everything that could be in your box with like really thorough descriptions and things. The yellow one is a ritual to cleanse and bless and sort of consecrate your new deck. What I don't like about these is that they're not very readable. Now, to be fair, I am farsighted and I struggle with reading anyway, and I do need to update my prescription for my glasses because I'm on a struggle bus right now. However, I don't know if it's the fonts being used. This script font that they have everywhere is not very reader friendly, especially at a really small size. And all things considered, this is a small size. Like, that's smaller than my thumb, right? So for a header text, this is where my inner graphic designer comes out, and you can tell I went to school. Um, do I do anything with my degree? No, but I have it. Um, I think it's a little bit small to be using a script like this. You can read it, but it does take your brain a minute. I think, like, if you look at the logo, the Tamed Wild logo, it's a lot more open. It still has all of the flourishes, but this one is quite cramped. It's quite pressed together. And it's the same thing with the body text here. They're using like a sans serif that's quite narrow. And so, like, at this font size, it can't even be 12 point, honestly. I just don't think this typeface really works to be very readable and accessible. Like, I practically had to take a photo and zoom in to be able to read some of this because I was just squinting at these cards. So I don't love that. I understand trying to fit a lot of information into a small space. I get that. We want to be economical and everything, but I don't know, that's my honest critique. You don't have that problem with this label. This label is very readable, even with the image on the background, which does mess with the legibility a little bit. It's still readable because the font is large enough and it's quite open. The deck, the pièce de résistance. Actually, before I get to the deck bag, I am excited about the deck bag. I'm gonna have to see which of my decks fit into it. I've started to try and go out more, particularly on the weekends. I've gone out twice now just to like a local bookstore that has like a coffee shop in it. And what I want to do is I want to do that more often. Maybe not every weekend, but most weekends. I want to take a deck out and just chill and enjoy being out among people and just like throw cards in a cute little coffee shop ambiance, right? That sounds like it would be so fun. But I don't have any deck bags, which means to take a deck with me, I'm relying on the box that it came in, which if the box is quite sturdy, but also not much bigger than the deck itself, so boxes like this one, that's fine. I could put this into a bag and take it with me. But I have some decks that came in boxes much bigger than the deck itself because it had a larger guidebook like this one, but the box is big enough to hold the guidebook. So they're not really portable. And I've thought a lot about getting a good deck bag, but they can be a little bit pricey. And I thought about making one, but I'm lazy. So I like that this was thrown in. I'm going to see which of my decks fit in it really nicely and see if I actually use it. And if I do use it and end up liking it, maybe I'll get more of them. All right, but I hadn't quite bit the bullet enough to buy one on my own. So I'm glad that they threw it in there. The deck itself, it's pretty, okay? I love the artwork style that we're going with here with like the sort of watercolor wash, but with the gold. It's very, very nice. I'm getting sort of like very crystalline vibes, like it's like marble or geode, but also watercolor. I do like it. The deck has a very, very bright, very shiny gold foil edging on it, which I do enjoy. I love a good foil edging. The first few cards, it can be it was a little confusing initially, like what's the front and what's the back? Because the first few cards on the top are not actually cards. This is where the deck actually starts. That's the actual deck. All of these, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards, these are all informational. Which just seems like kind of a lot, right? It's kind of too much. But they're kind of essentially, it's like The guidebook has all of this information, but also it's all on the cards in the deck itself, right? So this is like a little history. We've got, instructions here because we need those, I guess. More history. Got kind of like a table of contents about the author card, right? More stuff. Little mantra card. Blah, 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 blah. This is excessive. This is too much. You could have just put this in the guidebook and called it a day. I like that I get like this extra little, like pretty swooshy abstract art. Ooh, so nice, so fun, so fresh. But we could have done without it. I don't think this is necessary. The deck itself, the front of every card is a rune, and so we've got like the same sort of swirliness, but much more muted in terms of the color palette. It makes them, especially if you have them like right up next to the cover cards, they look almost washed out, which is a little disappointing. But I love the concept. I like that they're cards, but it looks like a stone with the rune cut into it. I like that as an art concept. It's quite nice. I just would have liked to see the saturation turned up a little bit. I think that it would have worked really well to have the blues be more blue, the golds be a little less green, just a little bit of, color correction. But they're quite pretty, and I do like them. What I don't think I like is the fact that the other side of every single card tries to have everything crammed into it. Again, this is a problem of the text not being legible, especially laid over top of this background here that's sort of like faded out but still very much present. This teeny tiny little text over that background, you can't read this or at least I can't. All right, the names of the runes in this script, very difficult to read. Names of the runes are hard enough to read anyway. You don't need to make it harder for me to know how to spell or pronounce it by putting it in this really fancy script, because a lot of times with script, especially with modern readership, we're picking up some of the words like that last letter there, right? What even is that? I don't even know. Is that a Z? I think it's supposed to be a Z. But script like that, we read because we recognize the overall shape of the word. And so letters like this that don't match expected alphabet shapes, we fill in automatically. And you can't do that with words that you are just not familiar with. And so I don't think that these design choices work in terms of like supporting readability, usability, accessibility. It's very, very pretty. I think it's very aesthetic. I don't think they thought through the need for this to actually be usable and accessible very well, because you would have to have very keen eyesight to be able to read all of this garbage. There's so much information packed onto the back of these cards. It's trying to be a whole guidebook, and I don't think you have the space. And then you have the book with it, which does not contain any additional information. It just repeats it, but in bigger text that you can actually read, right? So I love the guidebook. Gonna keep the guidebook because that's the only way that I'm gonna be able to actually use this deck is with the guidebook. And so because of that, because these are just really unreadable, a part of me, if I wasn't terrified that I would completely wreck this beautiful gold foil, I would be tempted to mod this deck. I've never modified a deck in my life, but I want to do it with this one because I really want to just black out this side of the card. I really just want to paint over it or mark over it or something. I want all of this chaos to go away and be replaced by something prettier and more uniform, more like the expected like back of an oracle or tarot deck. So that's my rant. on what I don't like. Now I will say the quality of the cards themselves are an A plus. These are quite thick. They're very, very sturdy. It feels like they're going to hold up really well to use. Um, they're not sticky. A lot of foiled decks are really sticky right out of the box. They kind of stick together, the foil does, and you have to sort of break them loose before they're usable. These are slick as butter straight out of the box. They're very usable, very shuffleable, very, very slick and easy to manipulate. I love that. So there are a lot of good things going on about this deck. There are also some things that I don't love. If I had had a chance to like see a full flip through of this deck and see it in person and sort of the inaccessibility of these backs, would I have bought this deck separate from this mystery box? No. No, I would not. Will I absolutely use this deck? Yes. Now that I have it, now that it's in my life, in my collection, I will absolutely use it. I will probably really enjoy it, but I do feel like I just want to get rid of all of this clutter. I don't love it because I can't use it. It's not usable. Anyway, that is it. That is the whole box. That's the July box. It shipped to me pretty quick. I think I got the notification of it being shipped about a week ago, not too terribly long after the first of the month. The way that Tamed Wild works, you get the box, the subscription box, in the month that you order, and I ordered at the end of July, so of course it showed up in the beginning of August. I have no idea what's going to be in the August box. I already had a good idea of what was going to be in this one when I ordered it, which is why I ordered it. So I'm excited to see what comes in the August box. I haven't decided yet whether or not I'm going to go looking for spoilers or if I'm going to let myself be completely excited. But we will see. I went with the 6-month supply, so we'll see if at the end of 6 months I feel like renewing and doing like another 6 months, or if maybe I want to do a different box. But here it is. There you go. My honest opinions, the good, the bad, and everything else. If you like smelly stuff, this is definitely a good box for you. The herbs are pungent and I love them so much. Alrighty, well, be good, my lovelies. I will talk at you later.